A fourth stimulus check. Can it come this summer? I have all the details, everything you need to know, and I'll also be answering your comments and questions in regards to a fourth check right here in this video, so let's get right into it. Alright, so first things first, just so that we're all on the same page. In this video, I will be giving factual information based on what lawmakers have said. I'll also be taking that factual information right out of lawmakers, and I'll be laying it out against a timeline over the next couple months, once again, based on what lawmakers have already said. And every so often throughout this video, I will sprinkle in my opinions, but I will certainly let you know when it's my opinion based on what I am also seeing with all the research that I'm constantly doing. So, with that being said, now that we're all on the same page, let's get into all the details here. All right, so the major question that all of us want to know right now is, will there be a fourth stimulus check? Will it be for everybody? Will it be highly focused on the low income or fixed income? If so, when will we get it? How much will it be? There's so many different questions that all of us have, but they all stem around, will there actually be a fourth stimulus check? So, like I said, let me lay it all out for you. Let me share with you what lawmakers have been saying, and let me lay it all out against a timeline, like I said here, over the next couple months, because that's exactly what lawmakers have also done for us. So, with that being said, let's jump right into it. But really fast before we do, if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video. I'm doing anything I possibly can, navigating through all of this research that there's coming out every single day, all these different reports, everything that is being announced every single day, as well as what's hitting the wire. I'm breaking it all down into the shortest videos I can possibly make right here on the channel so that you can stay updated with everything going on, and I ultimately want to make sure that you're getting as much money, benefits, checks, and programs that you can possibly take advantage of right here, right now, during this very confusing and busy time. So again, thanks so much. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get right into the rest of this update. Alright, so we might as well start with the most recent update that just came out in the last 24 hours or so. So let's throw this right on here right away since this is hot off the wire here. The administration is calling on Congress to pass another $10 billion to $22 billion. Otherwise, we could foresee another 100 million COVID cases this coming fall. That's what they're predicting, and this is the new information that has just hit the wire about 24 hours ago. In fact, I talked about it yesterday as well. So this is right out of the administration. They're calling on Congress for billions and billions and billions of dollars going forward because they're projecting 100 million COVID cases right here in this country a little bit later this year, in the fall of this year. All right, so that is piece of information number one. Next, we also understand many lawmakers have been coming out, mostly Democratic lawmakers. By the way, this is the information that I'm finding. I'm not taking sides politically. I'm just simply telling you this is the information that is out there right now. A number of Democratic lawmakers have come out over the last couple months here and announced that they need to do something big. They need to do something for the people. They need to produce something. They need to show the American people that they can get some work done and that they can provide for the American people. So we've had a number of different lawmakers coming out making similar statements to this, saying that they need to get something done. They need to get another package done and show the American people that they can get work done and that they are the party for the people. Again, these are the words out of them. These are not my words. These are simply the words out of the reports and the lawmakers that have been coming out announcing all of this. Now, they've also put some timelines on this. Let me tell you what they've been saying. They want to get another package done prior to the midterm elections. Yes, that is one of them. But also they want to get it done before this summer recess, which actually starts about a week into August is typically when it starts. And then they usually leave and they head out for a little while and then they come back and whatever. But anyway, the idea now is that they want to get this done before the summer recess, which is not that far away. It's only a couple months away as of right now, okay? So they do want to get this done. Next, we've also heard out of lawmakers that they want to do another reconciliation bill. Here's why. We know that with the midterm elections coming up in November, depending on what happens here, if Democrats, who have full control of everything right now, the House, the Senate, and the presidency, if they potentially lose control of the House or the Senate, obviously not the presidency yet because that is, out a few years here, and we have no clue what's going to happen there. I'm just simply saying, if something changes with the midterm elections this coming November, when we come up to that, reconciliation bills are no longer on the table. They can't do it. They won't be able to do it. It is only something that they can actually get through right now as they have full control. Well, potentially, depending on what happens with the midterm elections, again, I have no clue. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have palm reading skills. I have no idea what the future is going to hold. So, depending on what happens here with the midterm elections, the idea of a reconciliation bill is on the table now so that they can get everything that they want done now before, potentially changes of power within either of the chambers. And again, I have no clue. This is not a political statement, just letting you know what I'm finding out there. So, let's lay this all out now based on what we are seeing in regards to a potential fourth check, okay? Now, here's what else we're seeing. The president will be out tomorrow making specific statements on lowering inflation. What's he going to say? Who knows? No clue what the president's going to say, but he will be out tomorrow making specific statements on lowering inflation. Well, let me throw this out there as well. We've also heard from lawmakers as well as economists, and we've heard from a number of different people saying the best way to get ahead of all this inflation right now is actually to send out more money, to print more money and actually have more money going into the system. Have you heard this? We've talked about it a couple times over the last several months. We've had many people coming out from a variety of different people saying the best way to get ahead of the inflation is even to print more money and to send more money out. Okay? So what do they do when they print money and send money out? Well, they send it out in the form of stimulus, right? That's what they've done over the last 2 years here. They've printed and sent out more than $6 trillion in stimulus. Now again, not all of it was stimulus checks. Only about $844 billion of it was stimulus checks. The rest was unemployment boosts. The rest was loans to small businesses, PPP loans, all kinds of different things. Of course, we don't need to talk about all the details in this video. Doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is over $6 trillion was printed and sent out in the form of different stimulus packages. We've seen all of these hit the table, right? So these are a few other things that are going on right now. And again, let's go back to the midterm elections here for just a second. We know, based on what the lawmakers have said, they need to produce something definitely 100% before the midterm elections. However, the new timeline that they have on this right now is sometime before the summer recess, as I just said. But again, the real timeline that they're really looking at is ultimately the midterm elections in November, right? That is the main timeline. But you know how they like to put timelines and everything, and again, they all do it. Pretty much all parties, right? All the parties do this. They say, we're going to put a timeline here. And then ultimately, they never reach their timelines, right? The timeline comes by, it passes on by, and then they just, nothing ever gets done by then. So maybe that's why they are actually pointing toward the summer recess as the best time in which they want to get a package done, just knowing that we're probably going to miss the timeline, but let's just put that in there as a, metaphorical line in the sand right now, and then when we miss it, we still have a couple months to go before things, are really tight for us. So maybe that's why they're doing it. Not really sure, but either way, the summer recess is only a couple months away, right? But anyway, these are some of the things that our lawmakers are saying as of right now. Now again, let me instill my opinions just for a second here, okay? Just making it very clear, what I'm going to say here now is my opinion based on what I've been seeing out there. Now, it looks like everything going on right now would suggest that some groups, yes, absolutely, some groups do need a fourth stimulus check. Does everybody need one? Nope, not everybody needs one. Only about maybe 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 million people in this country. And 50 million is honestly probably even a stretch. It's probably not even anywhere close to that. It's probably more along the lines of 20 to maybe 30, maybe 35 million people need a fourth stimulus check right now who are low income, who are fixed income, who are really struggling with everything going on because of all of this rapid inflation. Now, on the other hand, we've also seen some reports coming out saying if there was a highly focused stimulus check, whether it was a $1,000, $1,200, $1,400, $2,000, doesn't really matter. If it was a highly focused check, then the inflationary impacts of a highly focused check would be minimal versus sending out $1,400 to 282 million people like they did last time. That's completely unnecessary. They don't need to do that, right? So the reports have shown that actually sending out a highly focused check to the lower income and fixed income, just like the report I shared with you yesterday. Yeah, remember that one? Let me throw down some real quick information on that one. The report yesterday showed, by the way, this was a study out of the University of Chicago School of Business. They found that the lower income people who are who are within the marginal propensity of consumption is what they're actually calling it. Basically, for every if they sent out a $1,000 check, for every $1 that is sent out, it shows a 69-cent impact to GDP, which is very good. However, just like I talked about in that report from yesterday, for every $2,000 that they send out to even more people that don't need the checks, it actually only has a 96-cent increase for the dollars that are sent out. So it actually is way more beneficial to send out more money to the lower income versus even higher income people. But again, I talked about that whole report yesterday in one of the videos. Feel free to check that out if you want to know all the details on it. But anyway, that was just a separate report. But the whole fact of the matter is, it all comes down to this. We know that they want to do another reconciliation bill. Okay, done. We know that they want to get that done here before the midterm elections. Okay, great. We know that lawmakers have previously come out and been in very much support of additional stimulus checks. Done. We know that. That is fact. We do know that lawmakers, mostly Democrats right now, and no, this is not a political statement, this is fact. We do know that lawmakers, Democrats, have mostly been coming out saying we've got to produce something for the American people, and we need to get it done certainly before the midterm elections, and certainly before our summer recess in just a couple months. That is fact. We do know that. Okay? Now, when it comes down to a highly focused check, that's the big question mark in the air right now is, well, will there be a check added into the reconciliation bill? Will there be a reconciliation bill? Can they actually get it done? And with this extra $10 billion, $22 billion, or whatever the dollar amount happens to be that is being called on by the administration right now, as in the last 24 hours or so, again, talked about it yesterday, they're calling on Congress for these tens of billions of dollars for extra money going forward right now. Otherwise, we may be seeing 100 million COVID cases later this fall. So that is, again, another fact, right? So this is something that we do know is going on. The next question would be, will they add some kind of checks into the package? Again, that's a big wild card right now. We don't know the answer to that. However, based on everything that is said out there, on one hand, we do have some lawmakers that say, yes, checks are very much needed. On the other hand, we have other lawmakers that are saying, no, we do not need checks because it's just going to lead to more inflation. So you can see we have this great divide between lawmakers. Well, it all comes down to this much. Democrats have full control right now. They have the ability to pass another reconciliation bill. If they want to add a stimulus check into the reconciliation bill, they can. They can. The rules say you can add a stimulus check into the reconciliation bill. There's no rule that says you can't. They can, 100%. We do know that Democrats like checks. They like to send out money, okay? That's just the fact of the matter. That is not me taking political sides. They love to send out money, right? That is the fact. They like to do that. So, considering all of this, again, this is where we currently stand. Can it come this summer? Again, if a fourth stimulus check is actually passed, by all means, yeah, it could come this summer, right? But again, it all comes down to what are they going to do with the next package? Are they going to add anything like this into the package? What is going to go forward with COVID, with the economy, with the stock market, with all of this? Whether you care about the stock market or not, you got to watch the stock market because the stock market wags the tail of the dog, okay? I know that some of you in the community say, we don't care about the stock market. Okay, that's fine. You don't need to care. But guess what? The stock market is wagging the tail of this economy and the entire United States. So you got to watch the stock market. Whether you cared about it or not, it is very important. So all factors combined, you got to watch all this stuff closely. And at the end of the day, could a check come in the summer? Yeah, by all means it could. Am I saying that it's going to? No, I don't know the answer to that. I do not know the answer.